The following segment is sponsored by Smith Injury Law and 300hurt.com.
Well, many of us are driving a lot less frequently these days. It's always important to know what to do if you get into an accident. Local attorney Richard Smith of Smith Injury Law has written a book called 10 Critical Mistakes to Avoid If You Get Into an Accident. He sat down with us earlier this year to share some of those valuable tips. The book, 10 Critical Mistakes to Avoid If You're Injured in a Car Wreck. Talk to us about the biggest mistake people make after a car wreck.
Well, let's go about the first mistake they make. It's kind of hard to say the biggest mistake, but I'd say the first mistake is they don't preserve the evidence. When you're in an accident, don't assume that the person that hit you is going to be truthful, because they can lie. They can say, well, it didn't happen that way. You know, he put out in front of me, that kind of thing. So don't move the vehicles before taking pictures. Now, you may be in a state where they require you to move the vehicles if you can, but wait and take the pictures first and make sure you can prove where the vehicles were when the accident happened. Also, you want to take pictures of any scars, any cuts, any bruises. Those things tend to fade, but it does show proof of injury prior to them fading out.
That's the other thing. And if you do fail to take those pictures, you could call your attorney and let them know after it happened.
As long as I can get to the vehicle before it's taken away or totaled, then you can do that kind of thing. A lot of times, preserving evidence is very important, especially if there's an argument about whether your headlights were on, whether your blinker was on. I need to get my expert there to examine the vehicle. Even the black box of the vehicle can tell you the speed of the vehicle. All that evidence can get destroyed if you don't move quickly in a serious accident.
And failure to preserve evidence also includes calling police, right?
Absolutely. You want to always call the police on every accident. Now, people say, well, what if it just barely touched my vehicle? Well, if it's extremely light and you know for certain that nobody is injured, you could do that. The problem is not just preserving your case, but what if the person that you hit, they claim now that you're at fault and they're injured? If you call the police, you can preserve the evidence. You know what the evidence is, because people will lie and they'll make up anything. They'll say you backed up into them or something if you caused the accident. So
Sure.
Always remember, the person that hits you is not going to be truthful a lot of times.
Better safe than sorry, so get
Absolutely.
it all documented. In your book, mistake number 2 is failing to seek medical treatment in a timely manner. Do you see that a lot?
All the time. And what happens is, the accident happens, maybe the first day you're not really that sore, the next day you are sore, the next day you're more sore, and maybe you wait a week or so to go to the doctor because it doesn't go away. Well, the insurance company takes that as a gap in treatment. They think if you're injured bad enough, you would have went to the doctor immediately. Now, a week you can pretty much get by with, depending on the impact, but if you go several weeks, you're talking about 3 or 4 weeks down the road, and now you're claiming an injury, the insurance company's going to say, well, we don't think you were hurt in the accident, we're not going to pay anything. So don't delay. If you're hurt, go to the doctor, go to the emergency room, go to your family doctor, call a lawyer, and I'll make sure that you get to a doctor who will treat you and not make you pay out of your pocket.
And you can request a copy of that book by going to 300hurt.com. And if you need an attorney right now, keep in mind Richard Smith is available. He's still working. He's still able to help his clients while following social distancing guidelines. Just call 300hurt to reach Richard Smith of Smith Injury Law.